Why do people become extraordinary once they achieve enlightenment? How can we test if someone is enlightened? You must watch this video carefully. It can benefit you for a lifetime. In fact, everyone is trapped in a strange loop, spinning inside it their whole lives. But once a person attains enlightenment, they can step out of this loop. From the moment we're born, our hometown environment, our parents' identities, educational resources, relatives and friends, together form an invisible enclosure. Our cognition, knowledge, and perspective are all confined. This strange loop is like a program designed with the core purpose of making us lose our way. It uses various appearances, illusions, baits, and desires to confuse us, preventing us from stepping out. Everything that happens inside this loop seems reasonable. We're numb to everything happening outside of it. The vast majority of people spend their entire lives spinning in this loop. Our fate is eerily manipulated in this way. Life seems to offer countless choices and possibilities, but they're all illusions, set up to make us feel lost. In the end, only 1% of people successfully escape this maze. 99% are trapped in this loop, becoming the leftovers of society's operation. So why can someone break through this loop once they're enlightened? Enlightenment means that, in a moment, one lets go of all self-attachment and personal desires. The most significant trait of an enlightened person is this: their mind can simultaneously hold two or more completely different thoughts without internal conflict. Because they've broken free from dualistic thinking, no longer passing judgments or attaching labels. Once reaching this state, there's nothing they can't accept, no outcome they can't embrace. At this point, you'll truly understand what it means. Everything is the best arrangement. Ordinary people can only hold one thought or concept in their minds. This thought is often shaped by environment, education, and experiences. For example, many real-life matters aren't simply black or white, right or wrong. Many people aren't purely good or evil, friend or foe. Rather, there's a gray area. Right and wrong, good and evil, black and white can transform into each other. This allows one to handle things with ease, to see human nature clearly and thoroughly. An enlightened person can possess two things simultaneously: transcendent wisdom and worldly means. What is transcendent wisdom? It's the ability to step out of the mundane world. This is also called thinking at a higher dimension. The answer is always one dimension higher than the problem. To truly see through a problem, you must elevate to a higher dimension. Then look at the current issue. An onlooker sees clearly, the participant is confused. Being able to view oneself from a higher dimension at any time, this is transcendent wisdom. What are worldly means? No matter how elevated your thoughts are, you have the ability to engage directly when needed, able to lower yourself at any time, to step into the situation rather than floating in midair, unable to act pragmatically. This is called mount the horse to slay the enemy, dismount to recite scriptures. For example, they can be both serene and decisive, rational and emotional. Inner sage and outer king, Buddha in heart, sword in hand. Mount to kill the enemy, dismount to recite scriptures, treat people with a bodhisattva's heart, handle affairs with vajra, means. When engaging emotionally, leave no reserves. When drawing the sword, leave no room. This is called coexisting with two ways of thinking. Ordinary people can't hold two completely different thoughts simultaneously because their vision is limited, their cognition insufficient. Once they encounter something opposing their singular thought, they immediately resist, trying to prove others wrong and themselves the most reasonable. Life is a journey of cultivation. Cultivate until you can hold both transcendent wisdom and worldly ability in your heart without clinging to a single idea. Then you can act freely and unrestrained. At this point, you've achieved enlightenment. Your future life will seem divinely assisted. After enlightenment, you won't cling to the past, present, or future, but live in the here and now. Some friends might have doubts here. Isn't the present the same as the now? In fact, there's a difference between the two. A simple analogy can help you understand what the now is. Almost everyone has the experience of reading a book. When you completely immerse yourself in the world of the book, quietly enjoying the pleasure, this state can be considered close to the now. This state has several characteristics. completely merging into the book's environment, becoming one with it. Almost no sense of self exists. Thoughts flow continuously, each moment seamlessly connected, flowing clearly without confusion. And this is different from the perception of the present. In perceiving the present, you can feel the existence of self, opposed to the environment, either wanting to adapt to the environment or change it. The time sense of the present is a duration, not a continuous flow of moments. Within this duration, various emotions may occur. This is the subtle difference between the now and the present. Cultivation is about maintaining the mindset when reading a book, extending it over a long period of time, always able to feel the present moment. Only the present is vibrantly alive with the world. In the gaps of time, an energy flows deep within our hearts. If we can truly be in the state of the present, we can break out of the prison of time. Only in this state am I one with the world, stepping out of the mundane to encounter miracles. This is a state that practitioners often reach. Buddhism emphasizes emptiness, calling it wonderful existence arises from emptiness. Daoism emphasizes nothingness, calling it existence arises from non-existence. Practitioners cultivate this realm of emptiness and nothingness. That is, the emptiness always emphasized in Zen. When one cultivates to a certain level, one can empty oneself at any time. At this moment, the human body is like a superconductor with almost zero resistance. Entering a state of flow, higher dimensional energy flows in. At this time, people don't need to create deliberately. They just let it flow freely. Great works are freely expressed. It's as if some mysterious force propels us to act. This state of composing poetry is called as if aided by divine power. All strokes of genius, all great works that move the heart, are created when we let go of controlling our goals, immersed in the flow. Ancient Greek philosophers called this state ecstasy, an indescribable peak state, feeling immense fullness within. Psychologists divide humans into the ego and the superego. All the great inventions in human history were created not by the ego, but by the superego. The superego is the self that flows freely. Just as Picasso believed his works were not painted by him, but during his creative process, a greater force lifted him to create. This state is like what Buddhism calls no self. That self seems to disappear. Thoughts disappear, goals disappear, only the present remains. This is what the Diamond Sutra says. The past mind cannot be obtained. The present mind cannot be obtained. The future mind cannot be obtained. At this time, one's words and actions flow like clouds in water, without any obstacles or gaps. If we can learn to express, to create, to feel, in this flowing way, every moment of life is an enjoyment. So does this state of mind belong only to geniuses? Can ordinary people achieve it? Of course they can. When we enjoy delicious food, drink heartily with close friends, admire beautiful scenery, succeed in entrepreneurship, connect heart to heart, we're all approaching this flow state. Especially at the moment we meet our soulmate, your soul instinctively trembles, being with the one you love. Even time seems to stand still. This is a manifestation of transcending three-dimensional space-time. Here's a key. When doing things, don't let your attention be limited by the three-dimensional world. Break free from the constraints of space and time. Don't focus solely on the goal. Don't explain or describe. Don't care about external comments. Instead, feel and experience. Follow your heart. That kind of energy will spontaneously emerge, then gush forth. How do we enter this flow state? It requires two prerequisites. First, you must have a hidden beauty deep within your body and mind. That is, you have a switch within you. Second, encounter a similar beautiful trigger. That is, encounter a force that can turn on your switch. This is called internal and external harmony. When your switch is understood and activated by external forces, the beauty within you will be fully unleashed. The soul is instantly touched, soon resonating at the same frequency, creating resonance. At this moment, your body and mind will be stimulated. You will have a strong reaction. For example, tears welling up. The body feels electrified, as if a spring is gushing forth. At this moment, you will firmly recognize it's the one. That moment may only be known to you, although this energy is flowing and extremely gentle. But the highest good is like water. The extremely soft can overcome the extremely hard. At this time, all hard things are pierced. It leaves an indelible mark on you, even unforgettable for life. Why do ordinary people seldom enter the flow state? Because people nowadays are generally too restless. Life is like a fleeting glance. We pass by each other indifferently, no longer observing each other attentively. Think about people's current state. Our lives are left with one goal after another, and one action after another derived from breaking down goals. In the end, only a series of mechanical behaviors remain. Our ability to perceive is degrading. We become increasingly insensitive to the beauty around us. Thus, the beauty deep within our hearts becomes difficult to discover. Flow is the most luxurious state of life. It's lofty, desirable, yet unattainable. But even if it's 100 steps away, if we can take the initiative to step forward 99 steps, it will take the last step towards you. First, you must find something you dream of doing day and night. Find something you like, are good at, and are willing to do. Something you can devote yourself to wholeheartedly. I like it means liking it for no reason. Innate liking. As long as you do this thing, you will involuntarily feel happy. I am good at it means you're very confident, surpassing 99% of people in this field. This is a kind of confidence and assurance. I am willing means even if no one gives you a penny, you will do it without hesitation. I have always firmly believed every soul has its origin. Every soul has its intention. The meaning of life is to fully express the intention deep within the soul. This is our mission in this world. The greatest sorrow in life is being constantly pushed forward, losing oneself in fame, fortune, and desire. Life never experiences the soul from beginning to end. Believe me, everyone has a faint light, that signal repeatedly appearing in your life, that voice that causes a strong physical and mental reaction, that detail that brings you to tears. All help you approach this state. That is the moment of life's reboot. Daoism calls it attaining the Tao. Buddhism calls it awakening. Everyone is Prometheus, a fire stealer. All can steal the divine spark to illuminate others. You don't need to be a great person or hero, nor an entrepreneur or artist. Every ordinary person can do it. So is there a switch that can widely turn on that switch in everyone? Of course there is. It is love. Buddhism calls it compassion. Confucianism calls it benevolence. Finally, I give you 3 sentences. First, listen to your inner voice, focus on every present moment. Second, be an interesting person, discover other interesting souls. Third, you are beautiful and the world is beautiful. Well, thank you very much for watching. Finally, I hope this video can touch and inspire you. See you next time.